Over the three from Illuminaughtii over Landmark Forum. What is Landmark Forum? And yeah, you can see other videos to see more about what exactly it is, but it is the best thing that I've ever done in the advanced course. Um, should start all different videos of different things that I've gotten out of it. I don't know. I don't know. I just got out of my own way. I was in my own way from setting up my 7 streams of income, and I got out of my own way and. That's all it is, just training and development, and it's a 5 day course. The advanced course is 5 days, so 10 days total are $1,830 before any discounts, 915 each, only $200 down. I don't work for them, I don't represent them, I have nothing to do with them. I just answer questions online. What is it, and is it a cult or a weird business? Cults are what cults are. Landmark Forum is not a cult whatsoever by any definition at any level of their organization, whether you work there or take any of their courses. Um, and no, it's not a weird business. Yeah, it is strange territory to have conversations with people about, deep meaning and things like that. So it's not like an ordinary thing. I'm not going to buy a loaf of bread. So yeah, I guess that could be considered weird, but a lot of great things happen after it. So
damage Warner Earhart did to my life.
yeah, I mean, again, this could be a complete smear campaign. Sounds like that's what people have been repeatedly doing.
In short, he ruined. I was abused as a child at home by my parents who attended this training. They forced
Yeah, I mean, like you're blaming your abusive parents for the training. It's like, I don't know. And you were abused. Like, what does that even mean? Like, were you hit? Like, what kind of abuse is this? Oh, verbal abuse. It's like, it's not the forum.
me to raise myself, and they told me that I created all the bad things that happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, personal responsibility, it hurts, or it could hurt people, like, in a sense of like, oh, what are you saying that I control that abuser? Um, It's like if you wanted to look at it from that type of an angle, I mean, I guess that I am empowered by that. How did I put myself in that situation? I'm personally empowered by asking myself what I did to get into that situation. Um, and then from the other angle of it's not blame at all. It's not bad all the bad things that happen to you or it's not about your fault. I keep saying that responsibility isn't blame. I don't know if there's an easier way to say that, but it's not like we're blaming yourself for not having what you want. I don't know. It's just about empowerment.
They, in essence, were programmed to believe that they didn't have to
Yeah, no, there is no programming to believe. It's not about what you believe whatsoever.
raise me because I was already a grown human who was responsible for my actions and tragedies. EST destroyed my life in so many ways.
Yeah, not sure how accurate or true this is. Yep, anonymous smear campaign sounds like
If I could save one person from these people, I would. With AI, you can create any character you want.
give me like one example. Again, it's just like the he said, she said. There's got to be that. Like lawsuits aren't handled on people thinking and feeling. You know what I mean?
Lastly, another disturbing review claimed I attended a landmark session and it led me to contact an abuse.
Yeah, again, I don't know if you went through the whole forum. You went through in a session, led me to contact an abusive brother. This is a common trope too, and it really seems very coordinated because it's a lot of people, and you look into their profiles, and it turns out that nobody they don't post or they don't have a picture, they don't have pictures of them or anything. It's just completely anonymous. Um, and I'm not saying that that's true. I'm saying that, that's just one red flag. Um, and then like this whole thing, like, oh, like they made me call somebody that abused me. It's like you saw the benefit of saying things that were on your mind and and it sets you free. There's nothing to do with them. They want to, also have freedom and you want them to have freedom, like whatever, but that's not. this is it all. This is about you being free from any abuse that you've experienced in your life. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just about that.
Abusive brother who despises me. I endured 1.5 hours of devastating abuse from him as I apologized thanks to my landmark.
Yeah, nobody forced you to, and then you got a brutal, abusive conversation from your brother that you had that despised you. I mean, look, if your brother is the way your brother is, because your brother is the way your brother is. So just because you say I accept full responsibility for so and so, doesn't mean that he's going to be any. He's just going to be going on doing what he's always done, unless something happens. So, I mean, you could just hang up the phone. I don't I don't know. Like I mean, this happened maybe after at least for me, I called my brother after the first day. And so there was still 2 more days of like all this stuff happening, conversations. And yeah, no brainwashing whatsoever. It's actually freest thinking ever. And I had that within the first few hours of the forum. Um, but don't pressure yourself to have a breakthrough. Just be in the conversation and listen.
Brainwashing. Words, I was disorientated, but lucky enough to have a boyfriend who came and collected me.
Yeah, I mean, this is just all like story. It's descriptions of what happened. It's making yourself the hero.
I stood lost on the street in a very familiar city.
I mean, but I can see how this could be accurate. Okay, yeah, like I had your argument with the brother, whatever, and then my boyfriend doesn't even sound like you finished it. No, you didn't. You didn't. No, it doesn't look.
I wanted to walk out under a bus. When he got me back to the hotel, I broke. All I wanted was to kill myself. Though out of moral duty, was willing to go to a mental.
Yeah, I mean, you should. I would suggest you have a conversation with the people at the forum. Like, it sounds like you left and you didn't tell them what they did. It's so amazing that people want to go complain online, but they didn't even talk to the company that they have a complaint with. Um,
Hospital for the rest of my life instead. Clearly,
and then look at the drama like in this writing. Like, I'll be in a mental hospital for the rest of my life. What? You're typing this. I don't imagine you're at a mental hospital typing this review.
landmark isn't for everyone. I think it might be a
No, it's not for everybody. It's if you want to be closed-minded and not do the full 5 days, then like why would you pay for anything? Why would you know that something is 5 days and then do it your own way? Like you just do it they're just not doing it their way. They've been designing and writing this for 55 years. So just be in the conversation and listen. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to invite anybody. You don't have to call anybody and apologize. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It's these people wanting to get that off their chest of them making their brother wrong, even though their brother might be an asshole. At least that person doesn't have to keep on making them wrong. At least that person is free. Who cares about the brother right now? Yeah.
able to do great good, having people reach out to family members and friends that they have fractured relationships with. It's absolutely helped some people, and I won't deny that based on the earlier testimony. However,
And that is in the instant of that phone call that that person's feeling that stuff. You fast forward 10 years later, and that person isn't damaged by having called somebody and said, I'm sorry, even though the other person's the asshole. That's that person 10 years from now is just free and making money and having love in their lives and meeting new people or whatever it is that they are up to in their life. And that's it. Like I understand how you could be dismayed about a victim calling an abuser and apologizing and how horrendous that must be. But if that person now lives a great life and they're free, then it's like Who cares if they called and apologized? Like, when did calling and apologizing become some sort of a bad thing? And nobody ever said that the victim is now the full responsibility. No, the victim is now like responsible for the rate. Like, they don't take it like that. It's not like, oh, what are you saying? I'm the reason why I'm in a bad situation. And if that is, I don't. It's just like you can't really separate the two, you know what I mean? And especially after years and years and years, especially after hearing this, you know what I mean? Like I could make excuses all day long, but once I hear the real stuff, then I'm like, all right, I can't really make any more excuses. Yeah, no
Some people
manipulation.
cut abusers, manipulators, and horrible people out of their life for a reason. And if Landmark is encouraging or even demanding their attendees contact those people,
No, and look, you never need to talk to the quote unquote abuser ever again. And they're not demanding that you contact people. What the point is that they asked a question, you thought about that person. So therefore, that is on your brain. Why would you want that abuser on your brain? Don't you want to just kick that to the curb and never think that abuser ever again? I want to be done with it. I don't want to be
that is
thinking about my
damaging.
abuser.
I'm not so sure I'd be thinking straight after 3 days of relentless positivity with
Yeah, it's not positive, power positive thinking. It's not positivity. It's none of that.
little water and sleep.
There's plenty of time for water and sleep. Um, this isn't a place you're going. You're doing it from wherever you want, out of a Zoom call, and yeah.
This is why, if anything, they should absolutely have mental health professionals on hand at the very
Yeah, you're not a mental health professional and you're telling them a company that has psychiatrists and physicians on staff that they should have mental health professionals in the room. So now you're the expert on mental health?
very least. So, as for
No.
this, are there
No, it's not needed at the very least. Yeah, people are crying and getting emotional and getting complete with their past and past abusers, and that's upsetting for people. But once they're finally free from it, then they're free from it, right? So you would expect both a happy tear and a sad tear in that situation. And wouldn't you rather get that done in a private setting, in 5 days than carry that around with you any one more minute than you have to?
seminar's helpful portion? My final answer is it depends. I don't know how many people have left Land
There's no helpful portion of it. It's all designed exactly the way it's designed for maximum workability. I don't know how many people have.
are feeling furious, hurt, or
Yeah, she doesn't know of anyone leaving. This is nowhere to join, or anyone feeling furious or hurt or in tears, because 93% of people, if not everybody, gets what they got out of it and doesn't need to complain about something that was overall beneficial in their life.
in tears versus feeling invigorated or inspired, regardless of the ratio between good or bad.
The Again, you see that good and bad are a sea of opinions, and it's not a ratio. It's well, if it's anything, it's 93% effective, and 7% the jury's still out on that one. People that aren't going to say that it's effective, but aren't going to not say that it's effective because they it occurs to them that it is in some way.
There's
Like that 7% wasn't no, it wasn't effective. It just wasn't, yes, it was definitely effective after a year.
seems to be enough negative stories to make the
I mean, not even after a year, in the middle of it, but I'm saying if the study is the study that Harris Interactive polls asked that question a year afterwards, after people have already done it, to make sure that it made a benefit in their life and it wasn't just some like a pipe dream or a pie in the sky.
believe they're mishandling at least some aspects of the program.
No, they're not mishandling. They have gone through what they've gone through since the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 20s, and have evolved and shifted the way in which they deliver it so that it really works for everybody. And like, I'm sorry if at the inception in the 70s that everything wasn't perfect, but like we had to go there to get here.
Program. I'll leave that up to you guys to make up your own minds, but we're going to get more into the black and white issues that landmarks had over the years. And let's take a moment from the insanity of today's video to talk about today's sponsor, ExpressVPN. So you guys know the deal. ExpressVPN protects your privacy and security online, right? And you guys even know that ExpressVPN can be used for the show, watch what you want, and .com/casket.
Bad.
I turned being underestimated.
What else? What else? What else? I don't know. Started a business relationship and then broke off that business relationship after the forum. I don't know. Yeah, it just makes a profound and lasting difference on the way I live my life that I'm not walking around being upset at other people for doing things or whatever.
Now, before I talk about the legal battle Landmark has been in, there's one thing I want to address. If you search Landmark education lawsuits, you may come across a wrongful death lawsuit. It sounds serious, it looks bad, especially considering the last review we read, but this is not the Landmark education we're talking about. This was a recent lawsuit brought up against a district in California at Landmark Middle School. I know this
Oh, see.
may sound dumb to even bring this up because this is the internet and people make mistakes, but I don't want anyone looking into this lawsuit just to read a headline and make an assumption. There is a separate wrongful death lawsuit we will get into, but it's not quite the same. Landmark wasn't at fault in the same way. So anyway, let's get into the legal issues that Landmark Forum has faced. One of the first lawsuits came in the mid-90s when Landmark Education sued CAN, the Cult Awareness Network, for calling.
So Landmark Forum sued the Cult Awareness Network. So you see, this isn't Landmark dealing with their own issues. This is them suing the Cult Awareness Network for wrongfully calling them a cult. They're not a cult whatsoever in any realm.
Calling them a cult. The case itself involved a dispute over the legality and applicable usage of what Matthews termed cult indoctrination practices. CAN later settled and made a statement that it did not consider Landmark Education a cult as part of the settlement agreement. From the
So the Cult Awareness Network settled and stated that Landmark is not a cult.
But even though the cult awareness had some good concerns and points to be made, they didn't have nearly enough to accuse Landmark of being an actual.
I mean, this is, and Rick Ross, the Today Cult Education Institute expert, also says that it's not a cult, definitely at the Forum or the advanced course or any of their courses. And his only concern is that it might be somewhere on the upper levels, and it's not. To be clear about the quote unquote upper levels, there's the president and CEO or whatever, and then there's a board above that president and CEO. So there can't ever be one overall leader, and it's owned by the employees, the whole company is. And then even above the board, there's the court of public opinion.
Cult. They made points about sleep deprivation, inadequate nutrition, and sensory overload at Landmark Forum.
Yeah, again, so I took an hour and a half commute to get to New York to do the forum. So I can understand how I would be a little bit tired, but now it's done from wherever I want. So, I am responsible for my own sleep and now I don't even have to commute, you know what I mean? So I can understand how, people said that they were sleep deprived, but, anyway. And it's 15-hour conversation, a bunch of conversations. So, there's plenty of breaks, but that's how the forum works is by people being fatigued. You can't ever fully deal with everything. Unless you could deal with it in a fatigued way. You know what I mean? So it's really super freeing. And that's funny how that's part of it, like exercise. I'm sure we could come up with other things that, anyway, the stress test that they do on a bar rescue or whatever, where he like floods the zone to give that stress test. Inadequate and nutrition. Yeah, you're doing it from your house now, and there's plenty of meal breaks.
Forum on local one. Landmark Forum won this case, but they lost the next one in 2004. Landmark tried to sue Rick Ross, one of their greatest critics, and the cult.
There you go. All right. So, but yeah. So again, it's not the cult people suing Landmark. It is the other way around. So that really shows you.
Not Rick Ross, he's the director of the Cult Education Institute, the source we used earlier for these anonymous stories about Landmark Forum. It's no
Anonymous stories, and then anonymous stories. That's unbelievable. And he says that it's not at all, and he hasn't done it. Doesn't want to sign the paperwork, and it just seems all pretty petty to me. You just sign the paperwork through the 5-day course, and then you'll make such a difference in the world of cults that you are supposedly looking to make a difference of. And I believe you're looking to make the difference of, Rick. And I promise you 10 times more effectiveness in your skill set at being able to handle cults And I don't know what that means. I don't have an instruction manual on dealing with cults or how you would do it or anything. I'm just saying that you're an expert, and once you get this, discover some things about yourself that happen to be in the forum, and I don't know any other way to get it. And if anyone wants to share any other way to get enlightenment, more peace of mind and happiness, I'd be happy to look at that. Um, yeah, it just would empower you.
Down after they did the same with CAN, but things didn't play out the same way this time. Now, the thing is, Rick Ross has his own strange and rocky past. Some argue he's not credible, while others hail him as an expert deprogrammer. Regardless, he became a massive headache for Landmark. According to one source, in June 2004, Landmark sued Ross and the Ross Institute in United States District Court for the District of New Jersey, asserting claims of product disparagement, tortious interference with ongoing and prospective business relations, trademark disparagement under the Lanham Act, consumer fraud and unfair competition under New Jersey law, and prima facie tort. Ross and the Institute filed an answer in September 2004 without moving to dismiss. In it, they asserted various defenses, including that the statements were statements of opinion, the fair comment privilege, and lack of actual malice. The details are not clear, but Landmark appears to have voluntarily dismissed the case in December 2005. The reason why this proved to be such a massive loss.
So I put this in another video, but Rick was saying that they understood that they were going to bankrupt him, that Landmark, a company, would bankrupt Rick Ross, and they dropped the lawsuit. So that seems like they really treated Rick Ross with a lot of grace. And yeah, Rick, do the form.
For Landmark, because unlike in the 90s, this shows that, at least to some extent, that they can't argue against Rick Ross's claims. I'm not saying that this does make them a cult for sure. It just doesn't.
Yeah, no, you can see in any other of my videos, I don't argue against his claims. I just look at it like answering questions. He has questions. I'm giving him answers, and the forum is not about you getting answers about your life. It's merely they're going to ask questions about what is the being of the human being, and you come up with your own insights and your own answers, and then you go off and do your own things in your own life. So there's no formula that they're giving you or anything.
But Landmark reputation only got worse and much, much worse. In fact, around the same time frame in the early 2000s.
Oh my God, you literally said that all this stuff was unfounded and maybe not true, but it got worse, worse than untrue.
According to Tulsa World newspaper in Tulsa, Oklahoma, attorneys for Jason Weed and the family of the Tulsa postman he killed agree on one thing: that a motivational seminar he attended days before the shooting drove him insane, according to a pending civil lawsuit. But attorneys representing Landmark Education Corp., the company that hosted the educational seminar, maintain that the accusations are baseless and that the company was drawn into the suit only for money. Weed shot postman Robert Jenkins to death on December 12, 2001, but was found not guilty by reason of insanity. He is in custody at a federal medication facility, at least for now, pending an appeals court ruling whether he can be released on the grounds that his mental disorder was temporary.
I mean, why do you say things got worse and then you're like, this guy said this thing happened, but it ended up to be not true?
Federal prosecutors say Weed should be kept in.
I mean, I guess if you're taking the company perspective that it's worse for a landmark, I mean, I guess so, but I don't think they think it like that. I think they think it like just, something to be handled. That's that's life. And then things that didn't go my way happened after the forum, but I just felt so much more freedom and empowerment to be able to deal with those things. Maybe not right there in the moment. Maybe I was a little, you know, not knowing what to do in that moment. But yeah, anyway,
In a controlled custody.
like I'd like to see a study about. No, I mean there was. I mean, I was ranked consistently top five, and I wasn't even focused on selling. I was focused on hiring people, um, and teaching them how to sell, how to deliver value for people that want to purchase. Um, s- and like a lot of the sales that I was doing was it has to be. You have to go more beyond the script. There is an aura behind the script. So, you know. People could copy the script that I was saying and smile doing it, but it just doesn't matter what you say. It's just how you say it. And no, just the aura that I had, that I was generally in a happy, free spirit and didn't have things that like were upsetting. Like why can one person get water splashed on them in the middle of the day and they're happy, and the other person the exact same thing happens and they have like the worst day ever? Do you know what I mean? Like, well, I was prepared with socks in my bag, an extra pair of socks. So that's like a large part of it, um, but it's not about the strategy. It's about, the being of it. Even if I didn't have the socks, it's still anyway, whatever. It doesn't even matter. But You get the point.
The environment is clear what possible to shoot him to death. But the Claude eluded authorities despite several experts' opinions.
Point was having two of the exact same things happens to the same people, and one person goes away having maybe the best day of their life, and then the other person goes by and have the worst day of their life. And what's the difference there?
Recreational drug, brain injury, and epilepsy have all been ruled out as cause. Prosecutors have said Bean's psychologist believes that an underlying mental defect prompted the psychotic episode. Jenkins' mother, Janine Bean, filed a lawsuit against Weed in April 2003. Landmark was added as a defendant in December, court records show. Filings since that time show that Jenkins' family, as well as Weed's attorneys, claim that Weed was driven insane by his treatment during a Landmark seminar. The lawsuit also alleges that this was not the first time someone committed murder soon after attending a Landmark education seminar, and that the group is manufacturing psychotic/insane killers and others with varying degrees of mental disorders, court records show. Landmark Education believes that Jenkins' killing was a horrible tragedy, and it denies any responsibility for Weed's actions, said Oliver Howard, the Tulsa attorney representing Landmark in the suit. These allegations against Landmark Education are completely
Yeah, it's like Landmark isn't responsible for people that go off and do their own things in their own lives, and clearly there was a psychiatric or clearly this person was dealing with something way prior to the forum, so it had nothing to do with the forum. You know what I mean?
inaccurate and unfounded.
And we don't even look at it, it's inaccurate and unfounded. We don't even know if this person actually went to the forum.
Served to prolong this tragedy for families involved, said Arch Street.
Well, it seems like it was. They were added as a defendant. I don't know, but that could just be they were added as a defendant because that person was claiming that they went to the Friday, they went to one day or they went to a few hours, uh, and didn't do the 5 day of the forum. Maybe if that guy had done the full 5 days of the forum, then he wouldn't have shot, or died. That's not really clear here whether he actually did the forum or not. Sounds like he just blamed them.
Furthermore, Howard said Landmark officials believe that the company was drawn into the suit because claims against Weed alone would not produce any monetary recovery. I think it's really, really dangerous to speculate if Landmark can brainwash someone into becoming a murderer. Like, I don't even know if I want to go there. And considering how many people have gone to their seminars, I highly doubt it just turns sane people into killers. Otherwise, we'd have far more cases. But by the same token,
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a lot of influences going on out there. So someone goes to do the forum, even if they did do the full 5 days, and then they go home and watch a bunch of um no, yeah, a bunch of violent videos, then they're not doing the forum, they're doing their own thing. You know what I mean? So people are left empowered after the forum, empowered to make a difference that makes a difference on the planet. There's no way you could train it.
someone may push someone from the edge, someone who might be already in front of those evidence. Plaintiffs in this case have even argued that Landmark know their seminar can cause serious strains in those with mental illness, and that's why they actually screened for that in the first.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's long days and it's very different material. So
The final judgment did fall in Landmark's favor, even though Landmark Education is still by far
there you go. The final judgment did fall in
one
their
of the
favor.
most controversial topics of research. We'll touch more on that in a second, but seriously, with MLMs, I don't find
I really see some of this controversy being manufactured, but I hope you have the best day ever. Bye bye.